Welcome to another episode of Make Mental Health Matter. I had my microphone turned off, so it's probably good that I noticed that. This show is not about perfection. It's really about getting the information out there. So if you happen to be watching for the very first time, my name is Kelly Melissa Reinhart. I am your host for the Make Mental Health Matter show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I really, truly just love doing the show and bringing on my guests. I generally have either professionals in the mental health space, advocates of mental health, or those that have lived with or experienced a mental health challenge. Stories can be so powerful. Whatever happens in our life really leads us to this place of hope. It also leads us to this place of unknown, which leads into hope. And there's so many things that happen throughout this life that we just don't know is going to happen. And that's when I really love to bring and share the stories of my guests with you, because I want you to know that you're not alone. Whatever journey you might be traveling, it's okay. And again, it's not about perfection, just like this show. It's about finding that imperfect. I like to say it's perfectly imperfect. And however we're going about this life, it might be messy. It might be feeling like not the greatest thing, but we can get to that place of hope. And that's why I love to share the stories again of the guests that I bring on, because most, even all the professionals and those advocates, they have a story why they got into what they do now. And that's really the most beautiful part. But my guest for tonight, I am super excited. A little bit of change. He has a story that he's going to share with you, but also a singer and songwriter. And I think that's just really cool, because if you've been watching the show for any time, you have heard my story. My mom was a music teacher. Music and dance have been such a huge part of my whole entire life. And I mean, I have a whole entire sleeve of music and dance related, and it's been really, really good for my mental health. So without further ado, I am going to bring up my guest, Kenny. Thank you so much for joining me.
Man, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's good to be on to check you out. That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell the audience a little bit about your story and your background.
Well, my background is shoot, I was born in the church. Everything about my essence is about knowing who God is and all of that sort of stuff. My musicianship, instrumentation, all of that, I've learned throughout my years up till now. Singer-songwriter, married for 21 years, have 3 kids, and I lost my wife last year, 2023. So my story is just basically I'm a singer songwriter. I do work. I do enjoy life. And music seems to be that thing that calms me. That is where I go to get peace. And when I write, normally I write out of experience, and I write from a perspective of positivity. With all of the artists that we have in our world today, for me, I think it's important that artists use their gift in a way that's going to help someone else. I think sometimes, we can all hear of some music that's playing that's kind of degrading, that's not really uplifting the world. And for me, I think the space that I kind of like to be in is the space of positivity and giving the world something to kind of hope for and strive to be.
That's amazing. And thank
Yeah.
you for sharing your story
Yeah.
about losing your wife. And
Hmm.
I know that cannot be easy, especially with
Yeah.
three. And are they little? Or
No.
no,
My
older. Okay.
yeah, my kids are in their 20s, but just to be with someone for 21 years and to just lose them, of course, it is a strain, but it is something that is a choice. Having a clear mind, deciding that you're not going to let that take you completely out, it's a choice. Um, she's so much in a better place, away from pain, away from all of that sort of thing, and it's just beautiful to have her angel, her spirit, just resting on us and allowing us and helping us navigate through this life. And of course, I could have took the the sorrowful and the continuous mourning and all of that sort of stuff. And for me, it was healthier for me. I can do the world a whole lot better just putting that energy into music and kind of spreading it through the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just loss in general is such a interesting journey. And I lost my middle sister to a completed suicide in 2017, and that's
Mhm.
really what got me into the work that I do today. And
Right.
I this journey has been like one, I call it a roller coaster, and maybe that's
Mhm.
not the best word, but it kind of
Yeah,
is. It's like you have these really, really
it
good
is.
days, and then you have these really, really crappy days. And
Absolutely.
you being with her for so long, it's
Yeah.
like
You
definitely.
I was somewhere I was handling some business somewhere, and I was telling them about it, and she said she's been through it already, and she says, "You will experience every emotion known to man during that sort of time." And I did, for a stint, just took some time away. It is important if you go through any sort of loss that way, just take some time away. And if you can, sometimes you're not able to for various reasons, but just take some time away and just be quiet. I process better alone. You have to know who you are. You have to know you. Sometimes, as catastrophic as an event could be, it's probably not a good thing to kind of be intertwined and just kind of spreading that vibe all over the place. For me, my process was kind of alone. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to process it, and I did. And of course, any type of loss like that is a process, and it'll be something that you kind of have haunting you, throughout your life. But you'll learn how to deal with it. You'll learn how to have your season and your moment and move past it. And that's the choice that I want to make. Some people have more of a difficulty doing it. I just didn't want anybody to get the congratulations. I helped you through that sort of thing. I wanted to process it myself and kind of do it alone. So for me,
Yeah.
it was important that way.
Yeah, I mean, you said so many good things in there is that you
Mhm,
kind of really have to know yourself and
mhm,
how you're going through this process.
mhm,
And I know that you've
mhm.
incorporated music and
Yeah.
all the things that really
Mhm,
you're able to process. And I think that I love that you had the time to
mhm,
take that space and
mhm,
time, because I know at least for me, I didn't, like, I just kept going, 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 going. And that was a
mhm,
horrible idea, because
mhm.
what I call the virtual wall, and it
Yeah.
was just like downhill from there. But then
Mhm,
that was the moment when I stopped, right? Like
mhm,
that was the moment when I learned to pause and actually
mhm,
take care of myself. And
mhm.
I think that's so important to know that we all handle loss differently. We are
Absolutely.
all going to experience it differently as
Mhm.
humans.
Right,
And so my process is going to be different from yours and everybody
right.
else's, but I think
Mhm,
it's great to hear how people go
mhm,
through this
mhm.
experience, and that we're really truly not alone no matter how you process it.
Absolutely. It is so I've learned so many things about myself through that process, right? So I've newfound love for cooking. Um, I enjoy that. So you have to put that energy as opposed to just, sitting and just continuously thinking about these things. Put your energy in something that's going to help heal you. And if our great Lord wants to allow you to move on to somebody else, please make sure that you are healed before you move on. Please do not process your healing in the way of trying to get into another situation that would be detrimental to your next. Please make sure you healed. If you do not heal, you will have to take that person along the journey with you, which is not fair to them.
Oh, yeah. That's right? That's huge, because
Right.
I think that especially when it's a loss of relationship, right?
Mhm,
Like somebody who you've been
mhm.
with for
Right.
2 decades, right?
Mhm. Right.
And then you don't have that person there, and oftentimes people move on pretty quickly. I
Right.
know everybody has their different process,
Right.
and I guess if the other person is okay with you going through that journey, but I think that it is important to make sure that you are healed, you are
Mhm.
healing yourself, you are taking that time to process and just not moving
Right.
because it seems like the thing to do. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so important.
Yeah, mental health by itself is a part of your life where you will have to heal.
Mm,
If you are having difficulty trying to process those sorts of things, it is certainly not fair to move it on into any other situation. You have to take the time. Hear me, people. Take the time, even if it's by yourself, take the time to heal. It is very, very important, not just for the season that you're in, but any season that you're getting in the future. It is very, very important. It is not fair at any point, even if the individual is not healed, that you're going towards. Make sure that individual is healed too, because you're coming from a situation. I was married for 21 years. Like,
mm.
there's no way in the world I can make 21 years up. You know what
Y
I mean? You have to allow that to be what it is, be cool and be settled with that, and then move on in a healed state so that next situation can be as successful as the one you just had the unfortunate tragedy with. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I'm curious, and the question that pops into my head is,
Mhm.
I know you talked about really processing this on your own,
Mhm.
but as you came out of that time of reflection, is what's coming into my head.
Mhm.
What was really helpful other than
Mhm.
music
Mhm.
for you specifically?
Well, interviews like this helped me. Not only did I process by myself, but I needed some form of therapy. I'm not saying to process this by yourself and you're not clear exactly on how you need to maneuver. You will definitely need. I would recommend that you have some sort of professional help that's going to help you get along. My process was that. My process was just kind of honing in on exactly what I wanted out of this whole process. I did not want to be remorseful. I did not want to be unhealed. I did not want to wake up every morning and kind of go through the whole process again. I needed to kind of move on. You know, if it's one thing that I believe she wanted me to do was to appreciate the times that we had and then move on. It's nothing in the world that I could do to change anything. There's nothing I could do to I can't rewind the hands of time. That doesn't even exist. So we have to take what we have, the situations that we have, and then move on. It's important that we do that. If we do not, if we do if we don't do that, we are asking for a major, major crises in our mental health. We have to make sure whatever's comfortable for you, as long as it's not harming you, take the time you need and find some professional help. Whatever you need to do, you will find in that process so many different things that you never knew that you enjoyed. I like decorating. Who'd have thought?
Hey, yeah.
Who'd have thought? I enjoy cooking. I enjoy quiet evenings with some music on and cooking. I developed a lifestyle now with pescatarian. So it's so many different things that when you're healed, you'll see a lot of things in your life come around full circle. And how you used to take care of yourself, you won't take care of yourself that way, but you have to take the time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I what popped into my head as you were talking about that,
Mhm.
I am not the best cook by any means, but my sister used to be that person that would call for everything. So now the joke
Right.
whenever I'm talking on stage is that my husband wishes she was still alive because I tend to burn everything. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So,
Yes, yes,
yes.
yes. Don't be afraid to laugh. It is important. They say laughter is medicine. It's absolutely medicine. You'll need that. Don't think you're crazy. Sit in the room by yourself, put on a funny movie, laugh, enjoy yourself. I don't care if it's cartoons. Put it on, enjoy yourself, relax your mind. It's a process that you will have to go through. I think somebody told me that people suffer with forms of what do you call it? Anxiety is because they cannot accept, what situation they're in. And before the anxiety could really surpass, you have to say, okay, this is what my situation is. I have to kind of live here process it, and move on. So I don't want to suffer from anything. I don't want to suffer from anxiety. I don't want to suffer from mental health. I want to go through the process and understand that it can get better. You can think clearer. You can surpass this. It's just a season in your life that you'll have to do so.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, I love that aspect of thinking too.
Hmm.
I know I've in the past, it's like people come in and out of your life for a
Hmm.
season, a reason, or a
Hmm.
lifetime. I've heard that poem before, but I
Hmm.
love what you just said was that it's, you can think of it as a season, right? Like
Hmm.
if
That's
you're
right.
staying in it longer than that, we need to actively get you other
Help.
help, right?
Absolute. That's right.
But if you, it's normal, right? It's normal to laugh, it's normal to cry, it's normal to have those highs, those lows. Like you said, there's so many
Hmm.
emotions that
Hmm.
process. And I am curious if you would be willing to share, how did your wife pass?
Oh, she had complications due to cancer.
Mm,
Complications due to cancer. So she didn't necessarily die from the disease, but the all of the things surrounded it caused her to kind of pass away. She was a strong woman. She is actually a master. She had her master's degree in child education. She, in her own way, or the way she lived on earth, was she was a autistic teacher. She taught kids for a long time with autistic. So she dealt with kids with special needs. So she had that helping sort of spirit about her. And she couldn't do it anymore, and she came down with it, and kind of went through that whole process. It is certainly jaw dropping to see the transformation of all of that. And our family, we was there until the last breath, and that, in my mind, it gives me a lot of solace. It really does, because we were there. And she wasn't alone. She had family there, she had her children there, and we saw it all the way to the end, and we got closure. My daughter, oh my gosh, to see this young child um, be so resilient, and she's in college. To see her resilient enough to still press and go and do what she wants to do. I'm saying, she's like, I gotta make mommy proud. I gotta make mommy. I said, I know you have to make mommy proud. And as parents, I think we have to be healed too, so we can heal our children or help heal in their process. See, I know you want to do this for mommy, but make sure you don't leave yourself out of this. You have to make sure you not only do it for her, but you do it for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're on our earth, and you have to make sure you're doing it for yourself too. So let it be motivation. Great. There's a season, there's a time to cry, there's a time to be healed, there's a time to mourn, there's a time for all of that. But right now, being that we don't have any control over any of that, we have to make sure we put ourselves in the right mental capacity so we can live out our days.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I was like, you just, so many good things that you just said there too, is
Yeah.
like, I mean, as parents, right? We
Hmm.
also have to, you just
Hmm.
said it, we have to be healed. We
That's right.
also have to make sure that we're setting the example
Hmm.
for our children to know that they need to do it for themselves. Like, of
Right.
course we want to, and I've had those moments also, is
Hmm.
like, man, my sister would be so freaking proud of me. Like, I mean, I created a whole nonprofit out of her memory
Mm.
and her journey. And
Yeah.
I've had those moments that I'm like, man, if my sister saw this, like, she would be so proud. But
Mm.
then you also have to take those moments of, well, am I doing it for me? Am I doing it for her? But I
Hmm.
love that you said that about being a parent and asking your
Hmm.
child, are you doing this for you,
Yes. Right.
not for them? Like,
That's
that
right.
is just huge. So
Yes, it is important. It is important because these children will get into the mindset that that's what they're doing it for. And
mm,
ultimately, they're going to live off of the successes that they do wherever life takes them. It's not going to be anybody else. Especially if you're blessed enough to go to college and get a collegiate education. It's important. It is something that's a milestone. Some people don't get the opportunity. So when you're there, make sure you're going for the right reason. So I'm a realist when it comes to just the way life is,
yeah.
right? People will pass away. I don't care, close or distant. We have to get up. We have to understand that, but we cannot let that drive our complete life. it has to be something that we use it as a stepping stone, not to disgrace anyone, but just say, I can't live there. I can't live in mourning. I have to rebound and get better and get better and get better. I still have a life to live. I still got to raise these kids. I still got to be a dad. I still got to do all of those sorts of things. So
Yeah.
that's the mentality I've learned to take. I was not always been there.
Mm,
Again,
mm.
it's I'm in this healed state right now, this healed state of mind. And it's not that I don't want people around me that aren't healed, but I have to be very selective on what's in my general area, because I don't want to get pulled back in an unhealed state. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
and that is, I mean, I do a support group, and it's a grief and loss support group, and there
mhm,
are times even in that group that I'm just like, am I still
mhm,
here? Like, I know I
mhm,
can hold the space for those people, but then
right,
I also have those moments that I'm like, I'm well beyond that for myself.
mhm,
Like, I'm
right,
so much more healed that
mhm,
is this actually hurting my mental health
mhm,
by holding that space? And so that's kind of a conversation that I have
yeah,
often with myself too.
mhm,
um I know that it's important to be able to offer that space, but
mhm,
then I also reflect on, like, I am in such a different space with
mhm.
my healing. So what we're going to do is go to a quick sponsored
Yes.
break, but then we will be right back,
Mhm.
and we're going to talk about your music too after this.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
we'll be right back after this quick
Absolutely.
sponsored break.
Hi, I'm Julie Jones Hamilton, and my partner, Lynn Kitchen, and I co-host World's Greatest Motivators every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific on the Achieve channel. Come join us and the best thought leaders in the planet today, right here at E360 TV.
What's going on, beautiful people? I'm Sean French, and I am the host of the Determined Society. Join us right here on Vitality TV every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for stories of grit, determination, and excellence right here on E360 TV.
And like that, we're back. So if you happen to be just joining us, thank you so much for watching the Make Mental Health Matter show. My special guest, Kenny, we are talking about his journey through losing his wife,
Mhm.
also how he has experienced grief and loss and healing. And then also we're going to shift a little bit, but to talk about, because you are a singer and songwriter,
Yeah,
and music has been that space that
absolutely.
you have found that has been really healing for you. So,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit more
Mhm.
about your singing and your songwriting.
Yeah, music has been a part of my life forever. I don't ever remember not having, the creative mind to do music. Sound is something that I enjoy. Even so, if I'm in high school, I'm banging on the desks, making all sorts of noises, frustrating my teachers. But music was a part of my life, and it will always be. That is my peace. That is where I spend a lot of my time. I could turn it on when I want to talk to it, and I can turn it off when I don't want to. That's the only thing, kind of like, I can control the mindset. I can control everything. So music is my muse. That's my solace. That's my place of peace, if you will. My artistry, I think at this point in my life, it's important that when I put music out, that it has a positive sound to it, that it's not, going to disregard or continue to contribute to the world's foolishness, but that it helps correct an issue that I think we have. I went from doing gospel music to doing calypso music to doing hip hop music to R&B music. So now I'm more in an inspirational space where I can speak to a bunch of different people at one time, and I enjoy that space. They kind of can't put you in a box. Thankful for all the digital platforms and all the indie artists that have control over their music, and they can do music that's honest to them. My music is really honest to me, and it kind of fits who I am, and I love it. That is what it is for me. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of said in my intro, and
Mhm.
it's something you didn't know
Mhm.
about me. My mom was a music teacher,
Yes.
and so music has always been part of my life. And
Mhm.
actually, my sister and I, we used to dance, and that was like our thing, like dancing in the kitchen, like nobody's watching because nobody was. It was definitely the
Yeah.
thing that we did all the time. And I know I found, or well, I lost a little bit of that when after she passed and
Mhm.
dancing like kind of went away. But I have an 8-year-old that now he loves to dance. He's like my little mini me. And we
There
kind
you
of
go.
got back to it last year of like, I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I remember like jamming in the kitchen and listening to
Mhm.
music and
Yeah.
dancing. And it's so, I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, you can, when you're really, really sad, and this
Mhm.
is something that one of those quotes of like, when you're sad, you understand the music, and when you're happy, you just listen to it, right?
Just
Um,
listen. That's real good. Yeah.
yeah, and you hear, I mean, when you're in that space that you're just like
Mm.
listening and you're tuning in to the music, like it can totally shift your all of your
Mhm.
energy
It
depending on
does.
what you're doing. So I love that you're
Yes.
promoting and
Yes.
being responsible with your music of
Yes.
contributing to society.
Yes. Yes. That is a pet peeve of mine. I can't in good conscience do anything outside of positivity. Of course, you can probably creatively do anything you want to, but for me, when I present it, it needs to have a message to it that's going to uplift, that's going to shed some light on some things. I couldn't rightfully, as this song speaks of that we're speaking about today, you're a woman. It speaks to the essence of a woman. It speaks to how appreciative we should be. You guys are responsible for populating the world. If that isn't something to be honored about, I don't know what is. Don't know if any of us male can do that, but it is absolutely wonderful, and it was something that I had to do for women empowerment, is to just really shed some light on how we need to appreciate you guys, um, your strength, your power, everything that you've contributed to our families, you contributed to the world. I wouldn't have a problem with a woman president, so I'll go on record and say that. I don't have a problem with a woman, and I know some people will be like, "Oh my gosh, men are supposed to be leading." Yes, I understand that, but what if there is a man that don't have the capacity to lead? What are you gonna do? Still put him there? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Women are smart. Women have so many different attributes. Women can do some of the things that men can do, and vice versa. There's no, I guess I'm a feminist, I guess, if you will. I don't know, but I think it's important that we put out these positive affirmations, positive songs in the world to help heal whatever is broken. So we can't just continue to, put them by the side, put women by the side like they're nothing. No, no, I disagree with that. It's important that we build them up and continue to push the agenda of making women know that they can run this world if they really wanted to.
Well, hey, you're talking my language. No, um, my husband and I actually were having a conversation the other day. We were like, well, the world wouldn't have started without a man and a
Yeah,
woman,
that's
right? And
right.
I was
It
like,
needs both.
yeah, and I'm like, and
Yeah.
women rule the world anyways. We just allow you to be here. Just kidding. But um no, I think it's, I mean, I
Mm,
think that just the importance of like knowing the empowerment, like we
mm,
can be strong. And I know like both, right? Like men can do women
mhm.
things, like whatever. However, I am very much of the mind that I just call people human.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're all
Yeah.
humans. We all have our own experiences. We
Mhm.
all are going about this life how we feel
Right.
like it is going
Mhm.
to be for us, and we all are really balls of energy
That's right.
in the long run. So
Right.
but
Right.
I think that it's amazing that you took your experience. And I'm assuming that your wife probably had a little bit of a piece on the music that
A
you
little
do.
bit, a little bit. I mean, I wrote a song for her back in 2021 called "My Wife." You can look that up on the Facebook page or Instagram, whatever. It's just, uh, we have our strengths, we have our weaknesses. Women have their strengths. I don't know why it's so much a competition. I don't understand why it is. Women have a feminine essence that men don't. Men have a manly brawny essence that some women don't, and sometimes it could be interchanged. It could go either way, so it's not anything that we can kind of say, oh, you're that. Whatever a person's decision is to be whoever they want to be, that's their business. I'll leave that to them to decide. It ain't my business to decide any of that. So however a person wants to live their life, do it, but don't be competitive with it. It's just not necessary. We should be able to, as you would say, as humans live in this world, be different and still get along and love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's also what popped into my head is the like the generation right now is having that conversation about gender identity, right? Like, what does it mean to be a male or a female or non-binary
Right.
or non-gender, right? So
Right.
now we're having those conversations. And I think that it is an important conversation. But I also am, again, of the mind, like, we're all humans, right? Like, whatever you want to be is up to you. And I think that it's important that we also have people in our society like you that are going to help empower whatever choice you make, and through music, which is such a amazing modality for especially mental health.
It is. It's the savage beast is calmed by good old sound. You could be just as crazy feeling if you want to. You put on a good song, it'll calm you right on down. So I want to be a part of that. I've evolved to this point. I've not always been like this. I must put that out there. And I think everybody has to have a level or a place in their life where they evolve to a better version of themselves. Not that they were wrong, but the world is evolving. Everything is changing. You cannot have the same perspective that you used to have 30 years ago. It's just not going to work. It's not going to fit in today's society. I'm not telling you to forget your roots or whatever the case may be, but give people a chance, right? Allow them to be whoever they want to be. If that's not who you are, that's cool. That don't make them any better or worse than you are, or vice versa. You better than them or worse. It's just, we have to put that into perspective. That to me has a whole lot to do with mental health. That has a whole lot to do with how are you living your life on this earth. You can't just say everybody's doing everything wrong and you're doing it all right. Sorry, I don't care. I don't care how much you think that, but it's just not what it is.
It's like that could go in a whole different conversation. But I am constantly reminding, especially on, like that support group I was talking about earlier, I'm constantly just reminding people, like, my experience is going to be different from your experience, and yours is going to be different from mine. And we can live in this world together and be empowered by each other, and travel this journey that we're going on and not have to judge people, right? Like, that's my constant thing, is that, like, if we can all get to a place that we're just non-judgmental and we just live and we're just being who we want to be, like, how cool would this world be? Like, really?
It's very important. I wrote a song just before I got to this You're a Woman, called Love Is All We Need. It speaks to that issue. If we could love each other like we want people to love us, I think our world will, of course, it's an easy thing to say, quite different than how it kind of turns out to be. But if we could just love each other like we want people to love us, just think, if we were in that situation, whether you think it's right or wrong, would we want people to love us? Right? Well, we still want people to embrace us and help us out during this course of life. And we cannot be in this world. We have to evolve. We have to get better. Evolution, to me, is a healing. When you evolve, you heal. You help the earth correct itself from all of its craziness. When you evolve, you heal. So when you're healing, most of that stuff that people go through or stuff that you used to disagree with is like, man, let these people live their life, whatever it is, however it is, not my business. It's not in my house. I'm not worried about it in here. I'm not a part of it. So let them mind you. I always say, mind your business. That it's not my business. Mind your business. Not your business. Not your business. I don't care. I don't care who they got in their house, in their room. That's not none of my business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Let them do what they're gonna do. That's all I say all the time.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. It's like,
Yeah.
I am very much of that mindset
Mhm.
also. Is
Mhm.
like, does it like really affect me? Like, is it something that I need to like carry and hold like my
Mhm.
baby blanket? No, like
Yeah.
it's
No,
not anything that is affecting me. And if it is, then maybe there's a different conversation.
that's
But
right. That's right.
absolutely, I think that
Yeah.
whatever experience people are going to have is perfectly imperfect,
That's
and
right.
nobody is perfect, and we all are going to do what we think is the best for us. I do love that you talk a lot about empowerment and
Mhm.
healing and
Mhm.
getting your message out,
Mhm.
because I think there are, and so my brain's kind of going a little bit different, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
men that don't really talk about grief and allow
Mhm.
themselves to really heal. So
Right.
I think it's great that you are coming on here and
Mhm.
sharing your experience.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point, and I don't know, I can't say that I'm anything but man. I hurt. There's no shying away from it. I cry. It's just a part of life, and of course, I want to be healed. If crying is going to help me heal and process through it, oh by God, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
Believe that. If screaming to the top of my lungs, frustrated at certain things about my life, is that's going to help me. As long as it's not hurting anybody, I'm going to scream because I don't want to be in that condition. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, men need healing as just as much as women do, vice versa. Men need to take time away and just kind of process their life and understand and just process it and get through it and be better. That's what our journey should be, to be better.
Yeah. And okay, so my brain's totally, and I don't want to put you on the spot,
No,
but
go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Let's
would
talk.
love if you're interested
Mhm.
in singing something for us. I don't
Okay.
know if you want to or not, but
Sure, sure. Okay, there's a song called "Ribbon in the Sky." Stevie Wonder wrote it. It says, "For so long, for this night, I pray that a star would guide you my way to share with me the special day. There's a ribbon in the sky for all love."
yay, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, y'all always get me with that one. I gotta be ready because y'all should be. Let's sing something. That's funny.
I love it. No, and I
Yes,
was
yes,
like, if you want to sing when
yeah.
before we came on, I was like, if you
That's
want to, you
fine.
can,
That's
but if
fine. That's
not,
fine. That's fine.
thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely,
you.
you're welcome.
Yeah. So with all of this that
Hmm.
we've talked about, your journey through losing your wife, also being
Hmm.
a parent,
Yep.
making sure that you're showing up for them and
Mm.
letting them experience their grief and their loss, but also showcasing that
Mhm.
they need to do this for themselves,
Mhm.
whatever they're going after in life.
Right.
And then adding in these pieces of music and healing and
Mhm.
all those things combined.
Mhm.
I just think that it's amazing that you are opening up that
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. It's important for me because a part of my healing also is expressing. Having these sorts of sessions where we talk about mental health, we talk about all of the issues that a person goes through, because you never know that one person that you could save their life. You could, just by having something to say, a perspective that can help them live better or get healed. I think we are all, as human beings, we're on this earth for a reason. My gift just so happens to be music and artistry, and that's how I give back to the earth and the world, to spread goodness. It would be horribly irresponsible of me to be blessed with a gift and for me to use it to disregard or continue with the discomfort in the world. No, I'm glad and I'm grateful that I have the mindset and the perspective to use my gift to something that helps the world as opposed to doesn't, as opposed to not. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, where do you like perform?
Well, I perform all over. We're pushing this "You're a Woman" record. I got a record coming out, or a whole full CD coming out in the summertime. We're just pushing all of the corners, all of the areas to try to get the good positive energy out. My essence is positive. I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I have a good time, hugging everybody's necks, just having a good time. We need more of that, in our artists. We need more of that in the way, we promote the biggest artists. We need positivity. Um, I'm sure they're untouchable to some degree, but just to put this positive energy out is really healing for me. It helps me process, it helps me get through my struggles in my day. Just to be able to bless somebody with the gift that you have is wonderful. So I'll be all over the place. I have so much press to do. And I hate getting into that because you sound so vain when you say I got this or that to do.
No,
But
I think it's good. I am not of the mind either that
I
I
understand. I
it's hard
totally
to
understand.
self-promote,
It
but
is, but
um
you got to
if
get out and do it. Yeah.
yeah, so tell me more about um this is it I'm like, is it
It's a
CD
song.
still?
It'll be yeah. It's records.
Okay.
It's albums. This is a single.
Okay.
You're a Woman. It's just gonna speak to the Women's Empowerment Month. So Women's Empowerment Month, and it will hopefully be an anthem to women. It'll hopefully be just something that they could actually stick the stake in the sand and say, "Yo, this is what it is for us." So it just really hollers, "You're a woman. You're a woman," and what better person to do it, but from a male's perspective, right? Because sometimes we don't always appreciate the ladies. You know what I mean? We always appreciate them when it's something out of it that we want. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So sometimes we got to kind of give back to them and just kind of tell them how much we love them, tell them how much we care for them, tell them how much we support them, thank them, hug them, really, really, really appreciate them. So hopefully from your boy Kenny J, I hope you can understand, I hope I can speak for the men to some degree to say, hey, we appreciate y'all. And this is just a song that's going to help tell you that in song form.
amazing. I felt really old there for a minute that I was like, cassettes, like tapes, like
Oh
where are
no,
we at? Just kidding.
no.
Yeah.
It's now it's like SoundClouds and MP3s, and it's not necessarily CDs. It's records and all of that sort of stuff. So you can be old. It's fine. We'll still love you, Kelly. It's cool.
Like, do we rewind them still?
Nah.
I don't know. Just
Mm-mm.
kidding. Yeah. No, I actually we were having that conversation with my son the other day, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I felt really
So
old. So
they say those were the good old days. Yeah. Okay. All
you
right.
got the
Whatever.
big old boom box and you walk around,
Yeah. Walk
those were the
around
good
like that. Yeah. Those were the good days. Yeah.
times. Now we
Yeah.
just click a button and it's like magically on our
Mhm.
computer, which
It's
is pretty
there.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
there. Oh,
Yeah.
we're spoiled now. We're
Right.
spoiled. Oh my
When
God.
does this launch specifically?
This launches this Friday, March 8th. It's going to be on all your digital platforms. Of course, if you visit my page, Kenny Wilkins Instagram, and all of my other digital page, you will certainly see it going out crazy. Yeah, I see the time ticket. I see that ticket there. Please support it. For I'm sure all the women, and it's not only for women. I get a lot of feedback from men who's appreciating the music for their daughters. And that's an aspect that we don't necessarily we don't fall. I have two daughters. It's very important to me that my daughter understands that the guy that they date needs to appreciate them like this. If they do not appreciate you like this, run, ladies, run, girls, teenagers of all ages, run. They have to be able to articulate and tell you how they love you. If they can't articulate it that way, help them a little bit, because you guys are a little bit of the feminine essence. You guys could be able to articulate that a little more, but help them understand that, without them, a lot of this good stuff that we have around here won't exist. So we love you, women. We love you.
Love that. And I was just grabbing your link because I do
Yeah.
your Spotify. So over in that
Oh.
corner, if you scan the
Oh.
QR code, you can actually go
Yeah.
straight to your Spotify and check out. I'm assuming you already have songs that are uploaded there.
Yeah, I have Love Is All We Need is up there. So yeah, so it's all good. It's cool. It's good.
Nice.
Lovers Our News up there. We got a couple different things. Spotify is not as popping as the other sites, so I gotta help me out and kind of put some fire into me so I can get that stuff all done. But it should be. It should be.
What would be the place, or what is like your biggest vision of where you want to play someday?
Radio City Music Hall.
Mm.
Radio City. If I could do Radio City, that I've kind of arrived, if you will. I mean, that'll be really dope. Anywhere, actually. I mean, that's one of the things. But anywhere that I'm able to really express, my artistry and the love that I have for music, anywhere is fine. It doesn't have to be Radio City. It could be the smallest club in the world. I don't care. Just as long as I can give me a mic, set up. You might even set up a piano, and I can just get going and do what I do, do what I love. Yeah.
Nice. Well, if
Yeah.
anybody is watching this that knows any connections into Radio City,
Yeah.
go check out the Spotify, go find them on Instagram.
Right. Make sure Kelli is there. Make sure she's there. Make sure
bring me along.
She the baby and the hubby is there. Make sure that happens.
Right? Yes. Well, I am so thankful for
Thank
you coming on the show, and I just want to give you an opportunity. Is there anything else that you wanted to share that maybe we didn't talk about?
Not at all. Thank you for getting me on your show. I have to appreciate you. Thank you so much. Congratulations on all the success that's coming your way, not just for me, but from the hard work that you're putting in yourself. Big shout to the Kick Up Your Heels crew, Katrina Hertz and Rachel. Thank you so much for really pushing the agenda and pushing the song. And You're a Woman is popping. It's popping. Check it out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Stay in touch. Anything you ever need from us, we'll be there to support for sure.
Yeah, of course. And I'm gonna, so Spotify's up in that corner,
Yeah,
or
I see
go
it.
down to the Instagram. But I am so glad that you chose to come on my show and
sure.
share your story. And
Thank
I know that you are gonna make ripples across the world just
Thank
with your
you.
music, with your voice, with sharing your story. And
Thank you.
I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to chat, and you are
Thank you.
open and willing to share your story.
That's
Because
right.
again, not everybody is, and I think these are really important conversations that
Absolutely.
we're having just across the board, because you
Yeah.
never know what somebody's story is and how you can possibly change their life, even if it's only one person at a time.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely. So thank you so much again. We'll appreciate it.
yeah. All right, y'all. That was another amazing episode of Make Mental Health Matter. Got a chance to listen to Kenny sing, and I hope you heard all the things that he said. I mean, it really, truly, grief is a journey. It is something that we experience as humans, and you never know what somebody is going through. You could be that one person that shares your story and it saves their life, or it could be so important just knowing how you heal and how you process. Again, I am going to be very different from you, and you are going to be very different from me, and all across the world we are very different. We experience things differently, and healing is really important. Also, how we take that time to really process the grief, the loss. It makes a huge difference. And I know, like I said, for me, I hit a virtual wall. That's what I call it. And I finally had to stop. I had to slow down, and I had to process my grief. It is really important. So if you are somebody that is out there that is struggling, you may have lost somebody, you need resources, you need information, please go to BCC Evolution. I know I do this. I haven't ever done the QR code. I don't know. But you can go to BCC Evolution. We have lots of different resources on our website. There are also ways that you can help others. So maybe you don't have the perfect words to say. We have some verbiage up there too. And while you're there, check out all the other programs that we offer. We have a trusted resource hub, which is still in the process. So give me a little bit of grace, but it will be coming together over this next few weeks, because that's really one of the things that I'm honing in on. But take a look around and see what other resources that we offer and how we can help you through the journey. It really, truly is a journey of grief and loss. And go check out Kenny's Spotify. And again, this Friday, his new song drops. So make sure you go check that out. And whatever you do, come back next week on Monday. Pretty exciting news is that this is now starting March 18th. We are debuting this show across radio stations also, which is really, really exciting. So we're going to be expanding our message, expanding our reach nationally and internationally. So I promise you, you are not going to miss all the guests that I have coming up for now and in the future. But until then, I'll see you on Monday. Have a great night.